Rachel, why would you do such a thing? I didn't expect you to become so violent all of a sudden. Why did you punch me in the face? I still can't get over what you did to me. It's unforgivable. What did I do to deserve this?
Oh, it's you. You deserved to be punched. I didn't do anything wrong.
I was supposed to have a nice dinner with my family to celebrate my mother's 60th birthday. That's why I reserved that sushi restaurant. You ruined the party by punching me in the face. And did you really have to go out of your way to insult my mother and I?
Did I? I don't recall. I remember being honest about my feelings. There's nothing wrong with that. Your family didn't belong at that nice restaurant. I was just letting you know that you were out of place. You were making the other customers uncomfortable. That's why I asked you to leave, but you wouldn't listen. That sushi restaurant has a Michelin star. A poor family like you is not supposed to dine there, and you should know that.
Do you realize how ridiculous you're being? It's not like you own the restaurant. I had a reservation. I had every right to be there. Besides, I had no idea I was going to bump into you. You could have just left me and my family alone. Why did you have to cause us trouble? You owe me an apology for ruining my mother's birthday dinner.
Why in the world do I need to apologize? It's not a crime to speak my mind. That's why I hate poor people. You're all so disorientated.
I think that I have every right to ask you to apologize for what you did. And don't you know it's a crime to punch someone in the face? You're the one that's disoriented.
You should apologize to me for being poor and reserving a restaurant that was way out of your league. The restaurant should have never accepted your reservation. They should have put up a no poor customer sign. I didn't go to that nice sushi restaurant to dine with commoners like you. You deserved to be punched in the face. I didn't commit a crime.
Okay, whatever. I still have a headache because you punched me. Let me just say this. You don't need to apologize to me, but you need to apologize to my mother. That's all I ask.
Let me say this again. I'm not the one who has to apologize here. You should be apologizing to me for ruining my dinner. Did I punch you too hard? Is that why your brain is malfunctioning? It was hilarious seeing you bump your head into the corner of the table. Made a great sound, too. Why don't you go get your brain checked at the hospital? Maybe they can help you fix your stupidity. Oh, that's right. You're too poor to go to the hospital.
Rachel, please answer my call. I need to tell you something important.
Oh, it's you again, Claire. What do you want now? Are you trying to tell me that I was right about everything? Do you now admit that you're poor and I'm rich? We live in two different worlds. I'm amazed you finally understand where I'm coming from.
Please pick up the phone.
What if I don't want to? I don't have time to speak to a poor person on the phone. So stop calling me. I'm not gonna pick up. You ignored my previous chat messages, so why should I have to take your calls? You're very intrusive, and I just don't have time to be dealing with someone like you.
Okay, fine. I'll stop calling you then. I want to know why you punched me the other day, although I didn't deserve it. What did I or my family do to upset you so much?
You really are stupid, aren't you? I told you my reasons the other night, don't you remember?
Just tell me why.
I was supposed to have a nice evening out and eat some delicious sushi when you and your poor family showed up and ruined everything. That's why I punched you. Are you satisfied now?
Actually, no. All we did was go to a sushi restaurant to celebrate my mother's birthday. We didn't even come over to speak to you, so I don't understand how we did anything wrong. We didn't do anything to ruin your dinner.
You may not have spoken to me, but your presence at the restaurant made me sick. That's how you ruined my dinner. You weren't supposed to be at a nice restaurant like that. You and your poor family don't belong there. I chose to eat out at that expensive sushi restaurant so that way I wouldn't have to run into poor people like you, but I did. Poor people shouldn't be allowed to make a reservation at that restaurant. And that restaurant is one of my favorites, and it bothered me to see you there. That's why I punched you. You got on my nerves.
You're right. And that current chef at the sushi restaurant likes to serve expensive dishes. I heard that despite the prices, many young customers like to dine there because it's hip and trendy. I was properly dressed and I didn't do anything to make the other customers uncomfortable about my presence. I don't think that I made anyone upset by going to the restaurant. You were just out to get me for your own selfish reasons.
I'm sure that the other customers didn't want you at the restaurant too. I did everyone a favor by letting you know that you weren't welcome.
The chef knew that I was reserving the restaurant for my mother's birthday. The restaurant owner was more than happy to accommodate us. Don't you realize that you were the one that made the other customers uncomfortable by creating a scene and punching me in the face?
I didn't make anyone uncomfortable. You did that. You should apologize to me. I'm wasting my time talking to you. This conversation is going nowhere. You are so irritating.
I'd like to know why you think that my family and I are so poor. There were times when I had some money troubles, but not anymore.
Don't pretend to be something that all the other moms at school know that you were raised by a single mother. Your father left your mother for another woman, right? She had to work several jobs to take care of you. You can't deny any of that. I feel sorry for you and your mother. I'm sure that neither of you chose to be poor. But I probably would have killed myself if I were in your shoes. You grew up poor and you're still poor. Being poor isn't something that you can overcome. Your son is poor too because he's related to you. I wish that he didn't go to the same school as my son.
Oh, so the mothers at school are gossiping about the fact that my father left my mother when I was young? But you have it all wrong. That's not true. I did grow up in a single-parent household, but my parents didn't separate because of an affair. My father was in a terrible accident.
But that still makes you poor all the same. How did you even know about that sushi restaurant? That restaurant is for rich people like me. I'm amazed that you were able to get a reservation. If I were you, I'd feel out of place at a restaurant like that. I'd be too nervous to eat there. You have some nerve.
The restaurant has sentimental value to us. We used to eat there as a family when I was a child. That's why I chose that restaurant for my mother's 60th birthday. I wanted it to be special.
You're too funny. I haven't laughed that much in a while. I guess you needed to make up fake memories in your mind to cope with the fact that your father dumped you and your mother when you were young. You poor thing. I'm sure that what you said about your father being in an accident is a lie, too.
You're the one that believed all the gossip out there about our family. What you heard isn't the truth.
Fine. Have it your way. Either way, you still didn't belong at that sushi restaurant. I just want to make that clear. I'm sure there were other cheaper sushi restaurants that you could have reserved. You didn't have to go out of your way to reserve one of my favorite restaurants. That's what I'm mad about. It's a miracle that your mother lived to see 60. Poor people like you aren't contributing to society in any real way. You're all just trash. You should have punched your mother as well. Then maybe you would have gotten my message loud and clear. I wouldn't care if she dropped dead. Claire, tell me what's going on. Why are you suing me and for what? My lawyer called me and said that you are suing me and that you're also going to file a report with the police? And the sushi restaurant is suing me too. None of this is my fault. I know that you lied and made it look like it was all my fault. You need to fix this, Claire. I didn't lie. I did what I had to. You're finally getting the punishment that you deserve. You should have never treated me unfairly. I notified the police and I am suing you. The restaurant blames you for the damage that you caused them for being violent with me inside the restaurant. Claire, why are you being so over the top? Are you making such a big deal out of this because you want money from me? If it's money that you're after, we can settle this privately. I'm more than happy to pay you. There is no need for you to sue me. I don't want my husband to find out about this and get the wrong idea about me. Actually, this isn't Claire. And I have no reason to listen to anything that you say to me. Huh? Who am I texting then? My name is Melanie. I'm Claire's mother. I didn't have your phone number, so I borrowed my daughter's phone to get in touch with you. You tricked me, you old hag! I want to speak to Claire, not you! You're right about me having had to raise Claire on my own, but it's not because my husband cheated on me. He died in an accident. Raising Claire on my own wasn't easy, and we didn't have much money, so I guess you could say that we were poor. But I raised Claire with love, no matter how hard it was for me. I didn't have time to take care of myself, and I worked day and night. Claire means the world to me, and I won't have you bully my daughter like this. I was thrilled when she offered to organize a birthday dinner for me at our favorite sushi restaurant. But then you came along and ruined it for us. And you committed the biggest crime of all. You took away my precious daughter. I won't ever forgive you for what you did, and I'm going to make sure that you rot in hell. Could you please stop pestering me? I want to speak to Claire. You're not making any sense to me. You must be senile or something. Taking me to court is going to be too expensive for a poor family like you. Let's just settle this privately. If you're going to bother to put up a fight, I'll hire a great lawyer and win the case. If you don't want to lose, you need to drop this. How many times do I have to tell you that I want to speak to Claire and not you? Money isn't an issue for me. I have plenty. Look, you don't need to continue to pretend to be someone that you're not. I know that you're poor. Stop lying. I got the life insurance money for Claire. What? But I don't want any money. I want my beautiful daughter back. Why did you have to kill her? What has she ever done to you? Huh? What are you saying? Claire can't be dead. We just texted each other a few days ago. That's not funny. Stop making crazy jokes. The night of my birthday dinner, you punched Claire in the face, and she fell and hit her head on the corner of a table. She was fine for a while, but due to internal bleeding inside her head, she died. You killed her. I should have known something was wrong, because Claire told me that she had a headache that wouldn't go away. I told her to go to a hospital to see if there was any internal bleeding, but she told me she was fine and ended up not going. She also didn't want you to gossip about her at school anymore. She didn't want to be an embarrassment to her son, which is why she thought that going to the hospital would be a bad idea, because it might cause you to start spreading rumors about her again. She told me that if her headache didn't get better after some rest, she would go to the hospital for a checkup. Claire had a hard time growing up when people around her spread rumors about why I was a single parent. I guess she didn't want to do the same to her own son. I never expected Claire to fall asleep on her couch and never wake up again. Words can't begin to describe how I'm feeling right now. I went to check up on her because she wouldn't wake up, but when I touched her, it was already cold. I called the ambulance right away, but it was already too late. Her doctor told me that she died because of the blow to her head. You murderer! Monster! I only punched her. I didn't expect her to fall down and hit her head. It was an accident. It's her fault that she fell. No, it's not. You should have never punched her in the first place. Your punch is what caused her to fall and hit her head. It's because of your selfishness and short-sightedness that I lost my daughter and my grandson, his mother. I'm going to use her insurance money to make sure that you get the punishment that you deserve. I lost everything because of you, and I am no longer afraid of anything. There's too much information here, and I'm getting confused. Stop babbling, old woman. I bet you made this all up just to make me suffer. You just want to see me suffer. If only it were a lie. If Claire were still alive, I wouldn't feel so hopeless. Let's not waste any time bringing this to court. I'll pay you money. How much do you want? I'm loaded, so name your price. I don't want to settle this privately. I'm taking this to court. I'm going to sue you and take all of your money. I need you to suffer for what you did to Claire. Don't be so overdramatic. Money isn't an issue for me. My husband is a scion. Once I give you what you want, I demand that you leave me and my family alone. We're important people unlike your family. I'm sorry to have to say this to you, but your importance in society is measured by how much money you have. I can pay someone to make all this go away, so I suggest we go with my plan of settling privately. That's what's best for both of us. I may not be as rich as you, Rachel, but I have something that you don't. I am sick and tired of talking to you. Can we just sort this out and get it over with? There's nothing that you could have which I don't possess already. Oh, I have many more years of life experience than you. And I also have a great group of friends. I'm assuming you don't have many friends. When I had to work hard to provide for Claire, I didn't have many options, so I ended up taking on several jobs to make enough money. Through those jobs, I met many types of people. And after they heard about what you did to Claire, they all want to help me out. I know some people that can help me make your life a living hell. You're not serious, are you? That's supposed to be a threat? I won't believe anything until I actually see you in action. You should take my offer while it's still on the table. Why are you ignoring me all of a sudden? Pick up the phone, you old hag! I need you to explain to me what's going on right now. I thought you didn't want to speak to a poor person like me. What do you want? Shut up! That sushi restaurant is suing me for a ridiculous amount of money! You told them to raise the amount, didn't you? No, I didn't. I had nothing to do with that. They asked me about what happened to Claire, and I merely told them the truth. I know that you convinced them to sue me for more money. They're asking me to pay over $100,000. That's absurd! If you think that the amount is unfair, you should take it up with your lawyer. I mean, money isn't an issue for you, am I right? I think that the amount is fair, considering all the damage that you've caused to that restaurant. How is any of this fair? This is unheard of! You're crazy! If anyone is crazy, it's you. When you punched Claire, you broke some things at the restaurant, and some of the customers were afraid to go back to the restaurant because of your violent act. The restaurant lost business because of you. But now that Claire is dead, the reputation of the sushi restaurant is going to go down even more. No one wants to eat at a place that was a murder scene. Would you consider eating at a restaurant where someone died? I wouldn't. Claire didn't exactly die at the restaurant, but she died because of what happened there. That sushi restaurant was very popular, but after what you did, no one is going to want to eat there. The owner told me that they are moving the restaurant to a new place, and they might even have to change the name of the business. They need a new start. It's going to cost them a lot of money to start over. 100 grand probably won't even begin to cover all the costs. I shouldn't have to pay for their move and all their new equipment. That's not fair. They wouldn't have had to move if you hadn't killed Claire. You started this nightmare, and you need to take responsibility for your actions. I don't care about Claire's death. It doesn't affect me. I'm pissed off about the fact that a poor person like you is giving me such a hard time. I don't deserve any of this. To be honest, I don't care if my husband finds out about this. It was an accident, and he'll believe me. Besides, you don't have any proof that I committed murder, so the police won't come after me. I'm the one that's going to sue you for defamation. You better be prepared, because you're the one that's going to rot in hell. Go ahead and sue me. I don't care. I have nothing left to lose. I hope that your husband doesn't leave you after he finds out about all the crimes that you've committed. I hired a lawyer for you, and you have the audacity to say no to the settlement that I proposed? How could you? I told you from the beginning that I had no intention of settling this privately. I'm taking you to court. I will never forgive you for what you did to Claire. I will spend the rest of my life making sure that you suffer for your crimes. You first got in touch with me and pretended to be Claire. That in of itself is a crime. I'm suing you for defamation and fraud. I never said that I was Claire, and I told you right away that I was using her account because that's the only way that I could get in touch with you. And had you picked up any of my calls, you would have known right away that I wasn't Claire. Also, if you had gotten in touch with Claire to see if she was okay after you punched her, you would have known that she was dead. Why are you even texting me right now? Aren't you in a lot of trouble? I heard that your husband is suing you too. Even if you file for bankruptcy, you're still obligated to make compensatory payments to your victims. I'm sure that now that your husband is leaving you, you'll need to work for the rest of your life to pay everyone back. Are you the one that told my husband about my affair? I was doing a great job of hiding it from him until you went and told him. He's divorcing me because of what you did. How could you do this to me? You're evil! Do you enjoy seeing me in pain? You're the one that turned me into a monster. Now all you can do is work hard to pay everyone back. You have it easy. Nowadays, many women work, so I'm sure you'll be able to find a job. It wasn't so easy for me. You're feisty, so I think you'll have no problem moving up the corporate ladder. That is, if no one does a background search on you. If they do, you're screwed. What do you mean by that? Actually, I don't even care because I know that I'll find a new rich man that'll take care of me. I'm not going to slave away like you. That's not in my cards. Why are the police at my house? Did you call them? I told you not to get the police involved. Well, I never said that I'd listen to anything that you'd say. You're so full of yourself. What makes you so self-righteous? You committed murder. You're not going to get away with it. Even an idiot would know that. You said that poor people aren't relevant in society, but I think that we have a higher status than criminals. Now you're at the bottom of society. Okay, fine. I'll give you what you want. I'll apologize and I'll give you all my money. Are you happy now? I didn't think Claire would get hurt. I only punched her once and I'm not even that strong. Please ask the police not to arrest me. Are you trying to justify the fact that you punched Claire? I looked into your past and I found that this wasn't the first time that you've hit someone. And I submitted all the evidence that I found to the police. Why did you have to go and do that? I told you that I would do everything in my power to make your life hell. You got what you deserved. Now the police are coming to my door. Please help me. I won't disrespect you anymore. I promise not to be violent and I won't bully poor people. Please forgive me. I suggest that you sit in your prison cell and contemplate all the mistakes that you've made in your life. I never want to hear from you again. Goodbye, Rachel. Why are you doing this to me? You need to fix this. This is not what I signed up for! Melody! Rachel never contacted me after that and she was arrested. Claire wasn't Rachel's only victim. There were many others in the past that fell victim to Rachel's violent outbursts. I'm certain that Rachel won't be released from prison anytime soon. And even if she were, she still needs to make compensatory payments to me, the sushi restaurant, and her ex-husband. Claire, I spoke to your husband, and we both decided that it'd be best that you rest in the same grave as your beloved father. I still can't get over the fact that I lost both you and my husband, and it made me sad to think that getting revenge was the only thing that kept me going. I didn't enjoy getting revenge because it made me a terrible person. I don't think I'll be able to see you and your father up in heaven when I die. I thought of taking my own life, but your son helped me to get through all of this. You must be worried about how your son Sean is doing after he lost you. Of course, Sean was devastated like me, and for a while he wouldn't leave the house. But even in his great sadness, he came over to me and said, "Grandma, please continue to stay with us for as long as you can. I don't want you to die like my mother did." That's when I realized that I didn't have time to be feeling sorry for myself. but I had to take care of your husband and Sean. And I didn't want Sean to worry about me. He had enough worries of his own. Sean comes to my house after school every day, and when his father is finished with work, his father comes to pick Sean up at my house. He's not over losing, but he has been going to school and studying hard. He also goes out with his friends on the weekend. He recently introduced me to his girlfriend as well. That was very sweet of him, so you don't need to worry about us. We're taking good care of each other. And Sean is growing up to be a great person. Claire, I might not be able to join you in heaven, but in the event that I do, will you celebrate my birthday again since we didn't get to the last time? I'll be with you after Sean is all grown up, and he no longer needs me. Please wait until then. I can't wait to see.
Hey, you low-life loser. I heard you've gotten married, LOL. I'm so surprised that there's actually someone on this planet that's willing to marry a woman like you, LOL. Don't tell me that this is going to be some kind of fraudulent marriage, right? Eleanor, it's been a long time. What's with you coming out of nowhere to say these things to me? I'm sure you've heard from someone that I've gotten married, but I'm not sure who'd tell you that. Is there really a reason for you to be making fun of me already? I have every right to be making fun of a worthless person like you. Did you forget about the days we spent together back in high school? You were so poor that you couldn't even come with the rest of us on our senior graduation trip, LOL. And it's because of the way you always messed with me and picked on me in high school that I've had to live with such awful memories of those times. But we're both now in our 30s, right? Is there really a need for you to still be picking on me at our age? When I'd heard that you'd gotten married, I thought it'd be a good idea to give you a text. Well, thank you for going out of your way to contact me. Now, I have to get going. Who the hell did you end up marrying? I don't think that has anything to do with you. It doesn't, Jane, but I want to know. Do you mind answering me? If you're choosing not to tell me, then I'll just assume that all this talk about you getting married is fraudulent. I married a fisherman. Huh? The reason I don't want to tell you more is because this is his information to tell, not mine. So I really don't see myself telling you any more than that. A fisherman? What the? LOL. You both really are made for each other, LOL. Neither of you will have any money. Huh? What makes you have that idea of him? Well, I went to a really high-end university, LOL. I have every right to say that marrying a fisherman like him is the most uncool thing imaginable, LOL. Well, I'm sorry about that. I turned out to be the wife of a banker. Well, I'm glad that you were able to find a man with such a job to take care of you. But when you say a banker, what bank is he in charge of? He might own one of the banks that my husband works with. Are you kidding me? LOL. What makes you think a fisherman would ever work with a bank that my husband runs? Well, when we've talked about his work, he says he has accounts with all kinds of banks in the area. I think managing 30 or so. So I'm sure that my husband would know your husband's bank. It's not that big of a city anyways, and so there's a definite chance that he's at least heard of your husband's bank. Your husband's a fisherman, right? I can already tell that you're just full of crap now that you've lost at the game of life, LOL. You married a man that only has $30 in his accounts, LOL. Huh? I never said $30, did I? A banker's wife and a fisherman's wife. Which do you think is better? By now you should realize that you could only speak to me when I ask a question from you. What do you mean better? I don't think you should be thinking of us like that. Well, I've always known that ever since I first met you, you'd be garbage. But it seems as an adult, you've only managed to become a bigger piece of garbage, LOL. All right, say whatever you'd like. But if you plan to keep talking about me like that, can you just stop talking to me? This weekend there's going to be a class reunion. Do you plan on coming? You probably can't come, lol. You won't be able to pay the entrance fee, will you, lol. I'm planning on going, though. Really? lol. Even though you've married a moneyless fisherman, do you really think you'll be able to get in? I think you're better off trying to save any money you can since you don't have much, lol. You're worrying about me way too much, but thank you anyway. I plan on going to that reunion, but while we're there, you don't have to force yourself to come talk to me. Now, I really have to get going. I don't think I should go to this weekend's reunion.
Huh? Why not?
Well, I just got some really disturbing messages from a really disturbed classmate of mine. And now I don't really want to see her face again.
A disturbing message from a disturbing classmate? You seem to really hate whoever this is.
Well, yeah, I actually do. Ever since high school, I've hated being around her. And since then, I've enjoyed not really having to think about her. And no, she thinks she's some big shot because she's married to a banker. And now she thinks it's okay to look down on me because I have no money and am married to you.
It's rare that I see you talk about someone in this way.
I think so as well. But when it comes to people I hate, I have to say she's the only one that comes to mind. I'm sorry for coming at you about her out of nowhere. You don't have anything to do with any of this, so just forget about what I said.
Well, now that you mention it, one of the bankers that I work with's wife happened to go to the same high school as you, I think.
Really?
Well, a while back we had talked about it, and I'd assumed I'd find out this weekend if his wife really did go to school with you. But now that you brought this up, I think it's true. Back when he and I talked, we didn't go into much detail though.
I see. Do you mind telling me the name of that banker later on? I have some things I'd like to talk with him about. If you can't even pay to get in, you should go home, lol. Don't think you can just get away with doing something like this. With doing what, lol? I had to do this to someone as low as you. And when you just waltz into this reunion without a care in the world, I had no choice. Have your eyes been opened after being kicked in the butt? Do you think you can get away with anything because you're a banker's wife? You tried to get everyone to laugh with you and understand you after kicking me in the back and having me fall down those stairs. Do you really think that normal people act like that? You couldn't even pay to be here today, so you should just leave, lol. This isn't the kind of place where a poor person can just stand around. Everyone started to leave when they saw you come in. No, I don't think I was the reason for everyone starting to walk out. I'm sure they didn't want to stick around any longer with someone that kicks another person down and begins to laugh about it. Can you leave now, you lowlife? You're thinking that I'm some poor woman is going to cause you a lot of regret here soon. Why's that, lol? Aren't you just going to run home crying to that stinky fisherman? That's right. That's exactly what I plan to do. Look at me. I have a husband who runs a bank, lol. There's nothing that moneyless husband of yours is going to be able to do to me. Are you still unaware that my husband and I are part of this city's elite? Are you saying that it's okay for this city's elite to kick other people that they don't like down the stairs? Well, that is what I'm saying, lol. And since you still haven't even paid to be here, I want you gone. It's not like you would even be able to pay for the entrance fee now, right? You're married to a fisherman with only $30 to his name, lol. Honestly, you don't even have the money to be complaining to me about being kicked, lol. All that money he has there, he'll have it moved somewhere else. $30? Do whatever you guys would like with that chump change, lol. And that's what we'll do. I'm going to head home now. And there, I'll talk with my husband about our next steps. I'm just letting you know that all the money we have saved there is going to be pulled out. Go right ahead, LOL. That'll have nothing to do with me, LOL. It's hilarious that you even think that doing something like that would be a threat to me, LOL. Hilarious? I think it'll only end up being hilarious for myself. I'll be laughing all day and night over what'll happen next with your selfish butt. Huh? You guys only have $30 for crying out loud, LOL. When did I ever say that my husband only has $30? He has over $300 million, and a lot of it is in your husband's bank. Huh? My husband is the kind of fisherman that owns a fleet of large fishing ships. What do you mean? I think you have the idea that fishermen are all poor by default, right? Well, I'm sure to someone without a bit of intelligence like you would think so. But in reality, there are fishermen that have very large amounts of money when it comes to their profession. And when it comes to my husband's company, it is very well known by all sorts of other fishing companies as a powerhouse. So that should help you understand him a little better now, right? Huh? So he's really bringing in millions of dollars for you guys? There's just no way. Is there actually a fisherman with that kind of money? I didn't even think that fisherman made enough money to save up. He should be moneyless, right? Well, I'm explaining to you right now that you're wrong. Fishermen can bring in huge amounts of money depending on what they do, and some can make millions if they begin to run their own company. It's strange that you never knew about this considering your husband's bank works with a lot of different fisheries. Don't tell me you never actually knew any of that. Huh? There are that many that have money with him? And my husband happens to be the one putting most of the money into your husband's bank. What? Huh? What do you mean, Jane? When someone ends up having that amount of money sitting in the bank's accounts, it's probably kept a secret, huh? I'm sure you could have never expected something like this, but my husband really is a huge customer of your husband. What? How can that be? I told you that this is a small city. Well, my husband now knows about what's happened here, and he's very much pissed. He's even started to think of having you taken to court over this. Huh? Take me to court? What are you talking about? You do remember kicking me in the butt and having me fall down a flight of stairs, right? But that doesn't mean you can just take me to court. That'll cost a lot of money, so you need to stop saying things like that. Well, I'm sorry, but I have money. You're just upset that you were wrong about me being poor. But in the past, you really were poor. That was the past, and we're not in the past anymore. When my husband has to pull all of that money out of your husband's bank, I'm sure he'd like to know the reason why, and we'll make sure he knows about everything. And when that happens, I wonder what could happen with your husband. He might lose the rights to his bank. Hold on, Jane. What do you mean by that? Are you saying that because of me, my husband is going to lose everything he's worked so hard for? That's exactly what I'm saying. He'll learn that because of his mistake in marrying a disgusting woman, her horrible choices will ruin his career. What the hell? You don't have to do this. If something like that happens to him, we'll be in huge trouble. Can you stop talking about that stuff now? I don't like the way you're threatening me. I'm not threatening you with anything. I'm just telling you what'll happen soon. And it seems that the woman that once made fun of fishermen is going to learn firsthand what they can do. Are you going to be a good girl and take the blame for this? Because you should know dang well by now that your bias against my husband was very wrong. I still can't believe this. I thought that all fishermen were poor. But now I'm hearing that your husband has been a customer of my husband. Can something like that really happen? Well, it's been happening, LOL. I'm sure this is too much for you to handle after all the terrible things you said about my husband and I. But I'm sure you understand the reality of your situation now, right? Goodbye now, you selfish jerk. LOL. I'd like for you to experience some pain now. Please answer your phone. I'm in a serious pinch now. I want you to do something about this. Please help me. Help you? Why would I do something like that? Because it looks like I'm going to have to get a divorce soon, and this was all your fault to begin with. Are you okay with me having to pay for your mistake? What are you going on about, LOL? There's no way any of this is my fault. You have to take responsibility for all you did and understand that getting a divorce is the only option your husband has. You're wrong! Because you told your husband about all of this, my husband ended up finding out as well. He then told me that I've caused some major issues for him at the bank and that he needs to get rid of me. Oh, is that so? Well, this is what you asked for, right? There's no way in hell I asked for this! What did I ever do to deserve this? You looked at me now the same way you looked at me back in high school. And because of that, you went out of your way to kick me down a flight of stairs at the high school reunion. That's all you happened to do, LOL. You can't talk to me like that. I am leagues above you now that I've been married to my husband, and I don't want to lose all of this now because of some loser. But what you ended up doing to me is no small matter, right? I'm pretty shocked that after all of this, you still haven't even given me a simple sorry. Sorry? You want me to say sorry to you? I have no reason to ever do that now. An elite like me saying sorry to a poor loser like you is ridiculous. I see. Then you can go ahead and continue with the path you've chosen for yourself. It's all a delusion of yours anyway, but who am I to care? A delusion? What do you mean? You said that I can't do anything to you because you're married to a banker. But what happens when you're no longer with him? You'd better hurry up and find yourself another banker so that you can stay safe. Okay, wait. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. Right now, I'm actually crying really hard while trying to text you. So you should be willing to forgive me now, right? Is that what you think's going to happen now? Listen to me, Jane, please. Seems more like you're ordering me to forgive you. I guess even something as serious as what happened yesterday won't change the disgrace of a woman that you really are. Well, luckily, I'm still very much upset with you over what you did to me in high school, so I'm going to enjoy watching what happens to you next. LOL. Huh? What? You picked on me for years, all the way until we graduated from high school, so there's nothing better than watching you get what you deserve. Well, I'm sure things from here on out are going to be pretty rough for you, but do your best. Wait, if this continues, I'm going to lose my husband and all my money. I can't let people think that I'm poor. Then maybe it's time you go somewhere where nobody will ever see you again. Goodbye forever, you moneyless dog. LOL. And during the next class reunion, I don't think you'll be able to pay the entrance fee. So don't bother coming, okay? LOL. After that, Eleanor's husband was no longer happy with what she had done as his wife, and so they got divorced. With the divorce, Jane and Joe were now willing to leave a little money in the bank, but still moved half of it as a lesson to anyone who doubted them. This still led to Eleanor's now ex-husband having lots of troubles within his bank. And so, to compensate for his losses, he took Eleanor to court where she was sued for ruining his bank's image. Not only did she end up losing her husband and the money he had for her, but now she faces losing everything else she has to her ex. Eleanor will most definitely have a rough life ahead of her and might as well give up at this point. But this is what she deserves for treating another person horribly, and she should learn from it as best she can. Our condolences to Eleanor.
I heard a really interesting rumor about you, Mia. Is it true that you're a divorcee? I had no idea. My image of you is totally changed now.
What do you want, Sarah? I am a divorcee, but it really has nothing to do with you. And what do you mean by the fact that your image of me has changed?
You're a divorcee in your 40s and you're currently single. Doesn't that make you depressed? I feel sorry for you. Your life is basically over.
There's no need for you to pity me. I'm happy with my life. Don't try to feel better about yourself by putting me down and criticizing me. And just to let you know, I'm not in my 40s yet. I'm 37.
Okay, whatever. 37 is still old. You're 10 years older than me.
Well, everyone ages. You may be younger than me, but your youth won't last.
But I'm still young and pretty, unlike you. By the way, I'm engaged! I think my looks and youth had something to do with it.
Well, if your future husband is marrying you for your age and looks, I'm not sure that your marriage will last. Besides, being 27 doesn't make you special. There are many other people your age or younger. But congratulations on your engagement. I'm happy for you.
Thank you. I'm very happy. But no need to congratulate me. I feel like being congratulated by someone like you would give me bad luck.
It's a pretty rude thing to say to me, you know? I won't give you any bad luck. You have nothing to worry about.
Well, you're a 37-year-old divorcee. Your existence in of itself is bad luck.
What is your problem? What did I ever do to you? Why are you texting me in the first place?
I'm sorry, I was just being honest.
You should learn to keep some of those negative thoughts to yourself. It's called etiquette. A few days later.
Mia! I had no idea that you're getting married too. Why didn't you tell me the other day? Why would you keep it a secret?
I never felt that we were very close and I didn't feel the need to share this with you. Well, now you know.
Isn't it so funny that we're getting married at the same time? Who knew you could find new love at your age? Who's the guy that was desperate enough to want to marry a divorcee like you? I hope that it's not a fraud.
It's not. You don't need to worry about me.
How are you so sure about that? You're old and ugly. Who'd want to be married to you? You should really get a close look of yourself in the mirror. Oh, by the way, I have a surprise for you.
I already know that it's not the good kind. Just tell me what it is. I want to get it over with.
I'm getting married on the same day as you. Isn't that so exciting? Now our colleagues will get to choose which wedding they want to be at.
Why in the world would you do something so idiotic like that?
Well, now it'll be clear who everyone likes at the office. Then you could see that you're not as great as you think that you are.
This is outrageous. How could you do such a thing? We shouldn't make our colleagues choose between us.
You're only saying that because you know that everyone will choose me. I mean, I'm the young and pretty one here. Everyone loves me.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. I admire your optimism, though. Look, this isn't a popularity contest, and I think that it's a really bad idea to get married on the same day. If we don't get married on the same day, we can attend each other's weddings. Isn't that better?
Hey, you're the one that had to get engaged at the same time as me. If anything, I should be mad at you for all of this. Everyone's going to come to my wedding, so you won't have any guests at yours except for maybe your family.
You're being really immature here.
I guess you're lucky in a way. You only need to rent out a small space for your wedding.
I can't believe that you went out of your way to change your wedding date so last minute. You must really hate me or love me. You shouldn't be plotting against me. You should concentrate on having a nice wedding.
I'll still have a fabulous wedding. I won't regret any of it. Besides, no one wants to see you in a wedding dress. I'm doing everyone a favor.
Is there a need for you to be so cruel to me? I don't deserve to be treated like this. You didn't have to text me to tell me that you're getting married on the same day as me.
I didn't want you to be shocked when no one showed up at your wedding. I guess it doesn't matter. It's not even your first wedding. I'm sure that you'll have a lovely and intimate wedding. Don't feel bad about the fact that your wedding won't be as lavish as mine.
Have you been paying attention to me at all? You're going to regret this decision.
I won't. You'll be the one with regrets. I assure you. No one's going to show up at your wedding. People at our office are congratulating you about your engagement, But they're only being polite. You shouldn't take them so seriously.
Fine, have it your way. You're not going to listen to anything that I have to say anyway. I don't have time to waste talking to you. Changing your wedding date so last minute is going to end up costing you a lot of money. Don't say that I didn't warn you.
You don't need to worry about me. You should be worrying about yourself. Have a nice wedding. I know that I will.
Yeah, whatever.
It's a pity for you that we're getting married on the same day. I'm sorry for taking all of your guests. They all want to come to my wedding and not yours.
Yes, you mentioned that. I'll be fine.
Are you sure about that?
Let me just warn you one last time, though. You should take a look at the company newsletter before you go ahead with your wedding. If you still want to get married on the same day as me, even after reading the newsletter, I won't say anything more. See you tomorrow. The day of the wedding.
Mia? What's going on? Have your wedding guests arrived already?
What do you want? I'm busy.
All of my guests are a no-show. Did something bad happen at the office? Is that why no one could make it to my wedding?
I guess you never read the company newsletter.
What?
You lost, Sarah, and I won. You see, everyone chose to come to my wedding and not yours.
I don't get it.
All of my guests have arrived and I'm getting ready to start my wedding.
Why would our colleagues go to your wedding and not mine? One of my colleagues texted me something strange earlier. They said that I was insane for missing the wedding of our company president. What does that even mean? Did you know that our company president was also getting married today?
Yes, I knew that. I'm the one that's getting married to him, and we're about to start our wedding.
What? I don't believe that.
Since I'm marrying the company president, it makes sense that all of our colleagues would be at my wedding and not yours. We have a ton of guests. It's going to be a huge ceremony. That's why I told you it wouldn't be a good idea for you to get married on the same day as me, but you didn't want to listen.
Oh, I see. I finally understand what you've been trying to tell me. So that's why all of our colleagues didn't take me seriously when I told them that I was getting married on the same day as you.
Well, it's your fault for not reading the company newsletter or paying attention to anything that people have been telling you at the office. How could you work for the company and not know that I was getting married to the company president? How clueless are you? I mean, everyone else at the office knew. That's all that everyone's been talking about. Weren't you paying any attention?
I guess I was too focused on my own wedding. And I was late to one of our morning meetings, so I probably missed the big news.
I see. Sucks for you, doesn't it? Perhaps you should try to come to work on time. You're always late. Everyone in the office has been complaining about it. They say that you're really irresponsible.
I had no idea that's how everyone felt about me.
I thought that I was the only one that you didn't send out an invitation to, but when I checked, none of our colleagues have received a wedding invitation from you. Why is that?
Well, I told everyone that I was getting married, so I figured that I didn't have to send out the invitations. I thought that they'd show up. I didn't want to waste my money sending out the wedding invitations to people in the office that I see every day.
But if you formally wanted to invite them to your wedding, you should have sent out those invitations. No one knew if your wedding was happening for real because they didn't see any invitations go out.
But they said to my face that they would all come to my wedding. And I gave them the date and the venue, so I figured they were all coming. I never knew that they were expecting to be formally invited.
Well, that's how a wedding usually works. You don't just confirm people's attendance verbally. And no one believed that you were crazy enough to plan your wedding on the same day as the company president's. So it was inevitable that no one showed up at your wedding.
I can't believe that. I thought that everyone was coming to my wedding, so I made all the arrangements.
Well, that's a shame.
You don't even care, do you? Don't you see how badly I'm hurt by all this? I beg you, could you please ask everyone to come to my wedding instead? My wedding's gonna be so much fun!
I can't do that. It's not only my wedding, but also the company president's. I don't think that any of our colleagues would ditch the company president's wedding to go to yours.
But I've worked really hard to plan my wedding. What am I supposed to do now? This wedding is costing me a lot of money, too. What would my other guests think if I had 50 empty seats that were reserved for my colleagues? What is my fiancé and his family going to think of me? They're not going to be happy about all of this.
I guess you'll need to figure out a way to fix this then. You made fun of the fact that I'm a divorcee, so I can't help but feel that you deserve this. I'm not the only pathetic one here. I mean, you planned a big wedding and 50 of your guests aren't going to show up, and your husband is going to be very upset with you. I wouldn't be surprised if your fiancé asked you to call off your wedding.
You're really enjoying this right now, aren't you? I don't ever want to become a pathetic divorcee like you. Don't curse me.
What's so wrong with being a divorcee anyway? You should have never made fun of me because of it. I got married to my first husband in my 20s, and we decided to get divorced, but I have no regrets. It's better than staying in a loveless marriage. You had no right to make me feel bad for the decision that I made about my own life. You should focus on your own life instead of criticizing mine. Why would you think to compare yourself to me in the first place?
I actually don't know why either. But I'm in trouble now. Please help me. What am I supposed to do about all the empty seats at my wedding? This is not the time for you to be lecturing me. And I can't believe that you're getting married to the company president.
You're probably envious of the fact that I'm going to have a happy marriage and that my husband happens to be very wealthy. But you don't know how hard I've worked for everything in my life up until now. I think that my hard work is finally paid off. Can you say the same about yourself?
Well, I'm not so sure.
Well, you should stop looking down on other people just because they're different from you. Not only are you hurting those people's feelings, but I don't think that you gain any happiness from your actions. I think that you'll find that you'll feel better about yourself if you were more considerate towards others.
Okay, I won't be so critical of others and I'll work on being more considerate. So could you please do me a big favor by coming to my wedding? You should bring your fiancé and all your wedding guests. It'll be a big party. Or we could have a collective wedding. What do you think?
I'm sorry, but I can't do that. I've been preparing for this day for months, and I can't make any last-minute changes. I'm sorry, but I have to get going. My wedding's about to start.
So you're not going to help me then? I can't believe this is happening to me.
There really isn't anything that I can help you with. Have a nice day, Sarah.
I'm not going to have a nice day if most of my guests are not going to show up.
You should have listened to me, but you didn't want to. You just assumed that whatever I said was irrelevant to you. You never took me seriously. I'll see you at work next week. Bye. Afterward, Mia had a gorgeous and lovely wedding surrounded by family, friends, and colleagues. As for Sarah, she had 50 empty seats at her venue, and the wedding guests that actually showed up felt uncomfortable. Sarah's fiancé and his family asked her why so many guests decided not to come to the wedding. When she told them the reason, they were shocked to say the least. Sarah's fiancé was disappointed in her for changing their wedding date over something so trivial, and their marriage was off to a rocky start. It looks like they might even be headed for a divorce, which is something that Sarah hadn't wished for at all. Sarah was also too embarrassed to go back to work after what happened, and she decided to quit her job. We're left to wonder why she made such a big deal out of Mia being a divorcee. Was it really worth all the work that she put in to try to make Mia's life miserable? Probably not.